All right. Okay, welcome to my presentation. So I will talk a little bit about GenBI. So it's a AI-powered dashboard in a declarative world. So it's basically the ChatGPT moment for business intelligence. And it's something that is dear to my heart because I work in data for over 20 years. And when I started in 2003 with SQL Server and Oracle data warehouses, we already talked about self-service BI back then. But yeah, it was a bit different. And yeah, some words about myself. I transitioned after 10 years to data engineering. I'm writing on my blog since 2015 about the same topic. And last year I have created my own company and started now freelancing data engineering and technical writing. So this talk, what is it about? So as said, the self-service BI for everyone, right? Why is it why it's a good spot to actually use AI in BI? So if you go a little bit back, 20 years ago, we started with pixel perfect reporting and then switched over to dashboards. And back then that was already called self-serve because the people could like select the regions, they could select the date. They could really maybe even switch to another tab, so they could self-serve their own analytics. A little later, we had like Tableau and Click and all these BI tools where you get more sophisticated analytics. And a big shift, in my opinion, is dbt, where you not only could create dashboards, but you could actually generate SQL measures and also transformations. So if it was set up in a way that people could like commit to a GitHub repo and change transformation, it's in a way self-serve, but you need to have some technical knowledge. But of course, with AI, we can improve that workflow. And why now? I think we all know here, BI is, in my opinion, in the best spot to use LLMs, also large language models, because we have like the domain knowledge, right? So the people who are working in BI, they have they know the organization very well. They're business people, so they can actually correct or check if the generated stuff is correct. Yeah, we can do the whole workflow better. So this is an example before and after GenBI. It's very simple, but yeah, before we had to do a lot of manual work, and now with generative AI, we can actually prompt an AI. If there is some context around, we can learn from that. We can use the metrics. We can learn from the dashboards. We can generate the first version within seconds, and then we can iterate, refine, and ship for production. So it's basically a continuous, iterative human and AI collaboration, if you will. Here are some examples. I don't have the time for a live demo, but this is an example of Rill developers, where you basically generate based on YAMLs or from your data sources, you can generate the whole dashboard. So it will send the schema and the database schema plus the data types to OpenAI, and then it will generate the first dashboard. And yeah, of course, then you can fix or update, but then you have a first working prototype within 10 seconds. You can also generate models. So data models, not only the dashboards. Another thing that everybody of you know is like the MCP integration that is widely adopted at this point, where you can actually integrate any model within any application. So also Rill did this integration as the chat interface. So here I connected it to my local New York City taxi ride, asked it some question. And the cool thing is it actually live prompted the database behind it, and it gave me the correct answer plus also context. This is another example, same thing by ClickHouse. You can try it out at LLM.clickhouse.com and try it for yourself. There's nothing needed. But the cool thing is really it does live queries to the OLAP cube. So that brings us to what are the key components to actually having such a system. Of course, you need good data, otherwise it's all worthless. But the other 2 points are speed, and that's where I think like DuckDB, or also MotherDuck or ClickHouse and other OLAP solutions are really needed, because you cannot wait 3 minutes for one prompt, right? Or because the model need to kind of autonomously iterate through the data or the questions, and it should be BI as code. So that means you have the interface where AI and the human can basically interact with, because I call it the language of AI, because if you don't have that, then you only live in the context of AI, and the moment you have a new session, you kind of lose that. So it's very important to have a declarative interface, and as well, if you have everything declarative, actually the large language models can then pick up context from it, and if you want to sometimes explain something more precise, we use SQL, right, to define the aggregates and the KPIs, and yeah, that can then be used by MCP and other AI models to learn the context of the business, with the business people actually in the driver's spot, right? Here's a developer experience. So we can basically, not only developers, but also business users can just use natural language to generate dashboards or chat with the data. I think humans are still needed, because otherwise, if the one probability is wrong, you could go the wrong path, and then everything is wrong, right? So concluding, I think GenBI is a really good way of improving the workflows of business intelligence people, or also business people, just to kind of thrive and learn from existing infrastructure, declarative structure. And I think maybe we can say after 20 years that we have like achieved self-serve, but I'm sure there will be another episode. But yeah, I think that's it. There is some more resources. The slides are there as well. And I also wrote an article about GenBI. So if you want to know more, I get a little bit more than in this 7 minutes, then yeah, you can check it out there.